With great power comes great responsibility, right? But does the Peter Parker principle still apply when you are the undisputed king of the entire vitamins, minerals, supplements market? 4 months ago, in my last supplement industry content piece related to Amazon, you might remember that I left off by declaring that despite the increased run ins with the FDA recently, I didn't believe the leading online marketplace would indulge in the poison pill scenario that was defined by me as totally abandoning the supplement categories. Instead, Amazon would figure out how to increase its compliance hurdles to appease governmental agencies and supplement industry stakeholders. And I'll explore that subject matter a bit later in this content, but right now, I want to focus on Amazon sales. No, I'm not talking about promotional deals, even though Prime Day 2024 is only a few weeks away. Even before the great shutdown period, household health and baby care was the largest consumable category on the Amazon marketplace, of which vitamins, supplements, and sports nutrition was the biggest subcategory. But the 2020s has seen Amazon's power within the supplement industry become even more impactful, as the rate at which the retail giant is gobbling market share is unprecedented and seems almost limitless at this point. And much of its success can be attributed to the famous Amazon flywheel. Customers love the almost endless selection, lower pricing, and overall customer experience on Amazon. Brands enjoy the lower barriers to entry on Amazon, knowing they can reach people immediately, generally at a lower cost structure. This allows more opportunity for innovation from those supplement brands, thus making Amazon an incubator of product attributes and trends. Right now, it's estimated that 4 out of every 5 online transactions for supplements happen on Amazon. Moreover, e commerce accounts for over 25% of total supplements market sales. So, when I said in the introductory statement that Amazon is the undisputed king of the entire supplements market, just how much are we talking? According to recent Spin's 52-week data for the period ending May 19th of 2024, Amazon sold $14.88 billion in VMS products, which is up an astounding 22.4% year over year. If you were wondering how that stacks up against the portion of supplement sales at other major retailers, Amazon's lead is significant, to the tune of more than double the second largest VMS selling retailer. To be honest, there's only a handful of retailers that bring in more than $1 billion in annual VMS sales. Now, before you go blowing me up about this or that large retailer, remember that these numbers and statements don't include active nutrition, RTD beverages, and ready to eat formats and kind of like high protein foods. If it did, everything would look slightly different and expand. Just an FYI, my game plan going forward is to make Amazon specific functional CPG categorical content with the help of the data insights company Spins that tackles different categories each quarter. To help me select the next functional CPG category or categories to cover, pause this content and let me know really quick in the comments section. But as Amazon continues to grow, supplement brands face the stark reality of figuring out how to navigate an increasingly dynamic online marketplace environment. Amazon is the 21st century business version of the Colosseum, where entrepreneurs fight to the proverbial death.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Amazon can no longer be a passive sales channel, and supplement brands, small and large, should be using every tool the online marketplace offers to help drive sales performance. And since we are talking about brand performance, let's quickly run through Amazon's top sellers. The top dog on the online marketplace is Garden of Life, which brings in more than $352 million in sales on Amazon. The second largest supplement brand on Amazon is Optimum Nutrition, achieving sales of more than $330 million for the 52-week period ending May 19th of 2024 per Spins. And then rounding out the top 5 best-selling supplement brands would be Now Foods, Pure Encapsulations, another brand like Garden of Life that's owned by Nestle Health Sciences, and then NutriCost That's essentially a private label brand created by the Utah based contract manufacturer Elite Manufacturing and Packaging. The top supplement brands are so large now, it's rare to see much movement in this list, but some of those year over year growth rates, especially from pure encapsulations, could scramble things up. But before I jump into some categorical insights, I have a crazy stat on brand growth to share. Of the supplement brands that did at least $10,000 the previous year, the functional mushroom brand RE Nutrition was the fastest growing brand at a breathtakingly high, almost 40,000% year over year sales spike. And then with supplement brands that did at least $1 million the previous year, a few high flyers would be Lemmy, which was co founded by Kourtney Kardashian, that grew 951% year over year. Woman's health brand O Positive, that grew 762% year over year. And then, really, the only performance nutrition brand in the top 10 was Equip Foods at 319% year over year growth. But how about we drill down a layer into some categorical insights? And again, these won't include ready to eat food and ready to drink beverages. As many of you know, protein and meal replacement powder, which includes collagen, plant, and animal based proteins, has arguably led the sports nutrition mainstreaming effect as consumers gravitated towards functional ingredients that have both performance and dietary benefits. Protein powder is also the top subcategory in terms of dollar sales on Amazon at about $1.64 billion dollars and is currently growing at a healthy 10% year over year. I believe the ranking per protein source would be whey, then collagen, plant, and then other animal or blended protein powders. If your supplement brand wanted to be within the top 3 or the top 10 categorical sellers, you'd have to be selling at least $100 million dollars or $34 million dollars in protein powders, respectively. The next important VMS subcategory that I would like to talk about is hydration and electrolyte powders. At a growth rate of 52% year over year and generating $772 million dollars in sales, the market is signaling that hydration is for everyone. If your supplement brand wanted to be within the top 3 or the top 10 categorical sellers, you'd have to be selling at least $60 million dollars or $10 million dollars in hydration and electrolyte powders, respectively. Another category expanding its audience beyond high performance athletes would be creatine. Because of that, I believe the ceiling is very high on this ingredient, and I wouldn't be surprised if it passes pre workout energy powders by the end of 2025. But according to Spin's data for the 52-week period ending May 19th of 2024, $280 million dollars worth of creatine was sold on Amazon. And if your supplement brand wanted to be within the top 3 or the top 10 categorical sellers, you'd have to be selling at least $30 million dollars or $4 million dollars in creatine, respectively. Then a possibly surprising subcategory in terms of its flat year over year performance would be pre workout energy powders at $335 million dollars in sales on Amazon. Now, some might blame a lack of strategic focus by top pre workout selling supplement brands, as many have been transitioning into RTD energy drink formats. But if your supplement brand wanted to be within the top 3 or the top 10 categorical sellers, you'd have to be selling at least $14 million dollars or $8 million dollars in pre workout powders, respectively. And then rounding out the subcategories that I wanted to cover in this particular content, greens powders have continued to perform well at 8% year over year growth and reaching just shy of $300 million dollars in retail sales on Amazon. Finally, if your supplement brand wanted to be within the top 3 or the top 10 categorical sellers, you'd have to be selling at least $12 million dollars or $5.5 million dollars in greens powders, respectively. But in some cases, strong VMS subcategory performance on Amazon can dictate broader strategic merchandising shifts across natural or conventional retail chains. I can think of countless recent examples from creatine to collagen and many others that became mainstream relevant. Though maybe this is a good time to transition back and explain how Amazon is following the Peter Parker principle. As mentioned in the previous content, legacy stakeholders believe retailers should be gatekeepers for the supplement industry. I'm of the belief that every retailer creating unique quality and testing protocol requirements just adds extra burden and complexity that hurts these small supplement brands. Since Amazon grants supplement brands an easier path into the market, aka less gatekeeping, that increased innovation opportunity also could include a higher chance those products lack ingredient integrity, scientific substantiation, and quality standards. Now, For what it's worth, Amazon has required supplement sellers to provide it with quality control documentation and certificates of analysis to curb the sales of adulterated or counterfeit products for the last 4 years. But Amazon has recently been under more intense scrutiny from regulators, industry, and consumers alike when it comes to supplements sold on its platform. So, in a sort of industry disrupting move, Amazon increased its compliance hurdles to appease these various parties, starting initially with hot button FDA supplement subcategories like sexual enhancement, weight management, and sports nutrition. And I won't go into all of the nuanced details, but Amazon's new policy mandates that the companies selling supplements in those before mentioned subcategories must receive third party testing documentation directly from either Eurofins, UL Solutions, or NSF International, which are currently the only testing, inspection, and certification firms qualified by Amazon. Additionally, the testing requirements have expanded a bit past the original GMP compliance and label claim verification. When Amazon initially announced changes in April, a few thoughts jumped in my head. Firstly, even before those new requirements were added, I had been hearing that demand for services were bogging down testing labs. Because it's important to remember that the proliferation within the supplement industry has continued in recent years, with many subcategories having 1,000 or more competitors selling on Amazon. So, with Amazon now limiting all documentation or approval of accredited documentation to 3 testing labs, it will be inevitable that delays happen, which can then hurt speed to market for all supplement brands. Secondly, all this extra compliance, even if it's not absurd in the level of requirements asked by Amazon, does add extra layers of hard and opportunity costs to the supplement brands. Next, I wondered just how stringent Amazon would be with these new rules, because whether it's unethical humans outmaneuvering its automation layers for gain, or Amazon account managers just not flagging sellers or listings, the online marketplace has been only slightly better than FDA historically in its enforcement actions. Finally, the changes that Amazon instituted really didn't solve the core problem, and that's because the supplement brands are still the ones uploading documentation into the Amazon dashboard, thus creating opportunity for fraud. But I just wanted to end with some quick final thoughts, and I'm going to leave off by updating something I said at the very end of that last Amazon supplement industry content. I think the more probable outcome is one that sees them actually working with regulatory agencies to craft a compliance plan for the supplement industry retail landscape. Why? Amazon is likely confident they can create a competitive advantage through advanced machine learning compliance mechanisms that will be more costly for other parties to duplicate. I know some trade groups would like Amazon to be more involved within the supplement community when it comes to governmental relations, but that ultimately doesn't make sense for the multinational technology company to do, even though they list evolving government regulations and unfavorable changes as a key risk that could harm its business. And that's because the 2 trillion market cap Amazon already has every key relationship it needs globally to sway decisions, and they'd rather unilaterally act to create a competitive advantage and to eventually turn this compliance cost into a revenue opportunity like it had done with every other area of its business. I see the latter happening maybe with Amazon directly integrating with vetted testing labs, which would also eliminate almost all fraudulent activity. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 90% of you at this point that are watching this YouTube video are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.